What's up, YouTube? It's Jeff Tuffner here on the Glorious Podcast with the 2017 No Mercy pay-per-view review, and the show disappointed me. I'll say that. And I thought it was going to be better than it was halfway through the show. I enjoyed the beginning parts of the show. There were multiple parts in the beginning of this pay-per-view that I liked, and I was like, we still got Cena versus Roman, Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar to go later in the night. I'm thinking this could be a really good pay-per-view. The stuff that I thought was going to be the exciting stuff kind of disappointed. How can this happen? I mean, I swear, not how can, I'm not even surprised, to be honest, because I swear this has happened a million times before, where the stuff you expect to be good is the stuff that disappoints, and the stuff that you don't expect anything out of is actually better than you thought. But Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, they hyped that match up to be one of the biggest matches on the card. That was one of the boringest matches on the card, in my opinion. I really couldn't stand to watch that match. There was nothing to it. It was boring. It was just too normal. Nothing special was happening. No crazy spots. You know what I mean? You go back to SummerSlam, you have the Fatal 4-Way match. You had crazy spot after crazy spot. There was nothing in this match. There was no crazy, I don't think it was a no disqualification match, so I'm thinking it was a regular match. But they didn't even, go really outside the ring or anything. It was just so basic, and it was just, whatever. And then Lesnar retains, so, who cares? And then you go before that. Well, hold up. I'm not going to talk about before that. I got to talk about Cena versus Roman now. But Cena versus Roman, I feel like they're going to make that out to be one of the best matches of the year when it really wasn't. It was just, if you really go back and watch it, you'll notice it was just a lot of attitude adjustment after spear and Superman punch and the same old stuff, because you know how Cena and Roman they're always compared because they're very notorious for doing the same, 5 moves. Now, not always the 5 moves, but they have a specific 5 moves they go to often. So, I guess that's one of the many reasons people compare the two of them. But their match, it was okay, all right? People are really, I've saw people on Twitter saying, match of the year possibly. I'm like, no. This is far from a match of the year. I don't even think I would consider it as a match of the year. Don't get me wrong. It was a good, exciting match when it came down to the wire there at the end. You know what I mean? That's the stuff there. But it was just, the basic stuff you see all the time. We saw Cena go for that same wet. He hit him with 2 AAs, Roman Reigns. He hit him with 2 attitude adjustments, just like he did with AJ Styles back at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, where he, won that match. He hit him with 1, then rolled over, did another one, did that on Roman, and Roman kicked out. I actually was very surprised there. That got me. I was like, wait, wow. That really caught me off guard. I actually thought that might be it. I figured Roman would win the match. I didn't expect Cena to win. I thought there was really no way Cena wins here anyway. I'm like, this is going to be some way of Cena kind of getting Roman over in a way. But I'm actually very surprised that it was actually a clean finish. And it wasn't nobody interfering or whatever. They just, that's it. Roman, hit him with the Superman punch, and then it went into a spear, and then 1, 2, 3. But they really, if you think about it, the only reason people, I feel like, are making this match out to be much better than it actually was is because of how there were the close pinfalls toward the end there. And it was just Roman hits him with a Superman punch, 1, 2, 2.5. And then, same thing with Cena, AA, 2.5. Back and forth for about 5 times each. And then finally the match ended. So I feel like that's why it was getting made out to be better than it was. But it was kind of a slow start to the match until they started, hitting each other with their finishers and stuff. So it was an okay match. That was solid. It wasn't the best match of the night. Definitely not the best match of the night by far. So I was kind of disappointed by that. And then, like I said, very disappointed by Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. I really expected a lot more out of that match, and we really got nothing. That was one of my least favorite matches of the night. Let's talk about another match that happened right in between them 2 matches, which I called it, guys. I called it. I said it in my prediction video if you saw it. I said Enzo Amore would win the Cruiserweight title, and what do you know? Enzo Amore is the Cruiserweight champion. You could just see it was going to happen, just the way they've been building it up over the past weeks on Raw, and just, it just felt that it would happen, and they would put the title on him, because why not? That's full Vince, I think. I think this is Vince right here. I think that's his decision completely to put the title on Enzo, believe it or not. I don't think this was, creative. I feel like, Vince had a big say in giving Enzo this title here. And then it's just, the crowd, the crowd was actually kind of popped for Enzo tonight. It wasn't the usual. I don't know if it was because they're in LA or whatever, but they've been, not tonight, not considering tonight, but in past weeks, they've been kind of booing Enzo a little bit to the point where people, including me, or like I've said before, are getting tired of the same thing over and over again. So, I mean, I feel bad for Neville. I mean, poor Neville had to, he's been great as champion. I mean, he did lose the title to Tozawa that week before SummerSlam, which was just completely stupid. And then he got it back at SummerSlam. But other than that, Neville's been like champion practically all year in the cruiserweights, and he's been like the only thing really working out that's been like a success in the cruiserweight division. And then they just throw Enzo in there and just takes the title from him, and I honestly feel so bad for Neville here because this just sucks for him, to be honest. I bet he's probably pissed inside right now at them taking the title off him and giving it to Enzo. And then Enzo goes on the, Raw Talk after the show. And, I mean, he's just, I don't even know. I can't stand Enzo anymore. I'm just going to leave it at that. But, yeah, what do you know? He wins the title. So that's not, like, the final three things here. I mean, an okay match between Cena and Roman. Okay. Enzo winning the title. That pissed me off. And then Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman being a real disappointment. Brock retaining, nothing special out of that. That pissed me off. So I'm like, that was a shitty ending. We're kind of working backwards here through the card. We go to the match. One of the matches I like. I would say this is probably my second favorite match of the night, and it was the Raw Fatal 5-Way match for the women's title. That match I thought was actually pretty good. I expected that to kind of be maybe a boring match, but it actually exceeded my expectations. Alexa Bliss retained the title. We didn't see a new champion, but there were some cool spots in the match. Nia Jax, where they did like that powerbomb tour outside on the ring apron. That was crazy. A couple other cool spots in the match. I just thought like the crowd was into it. It was pretty good. Overall, it was my second favorite match of the night. As for my first match, though, it was by far the Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro and Sheamus. And I knew this would be a good match. I was saying in my prediction video, I was like, this will be a good wrestling match, no question about it. And then they went out there and put on another amazing match here tonight. Ambrose and Rollins retained the titles. Cesaro basically died in that match. He lost like 4 teeth. I mean, he took a beating in that match. If you guys go back and watch that, I mean, you could probably just find stuff on like Twitter and stuff of it. But he took that like slingshot into the the ring post or whatever. That's where he like lost the teeth. Face got all busted open. He landed on the apron too. I noticed where like it landed on his shoulder awkwardly. So he took a beating in that match. But that match was great. That was there was a bunch of close pinfalls toward the end. Now you can compare that to the Cena and Roman match. The difference was everything. There was more to it. It was more of there was a different variation of stuff happening in the tag match than the Cena Roman match, because Cena Roman, it was just the basics. It was the stuff you expected, just that made it exciting rather. So the Seth Rollins and Ambrose match, though, it wasn't like the stuff you expected. They pulled out some cool spots as usual, changed it up, did some new stuff, crazy stuff. It was entertaining. It was good. Everybody was into it, and it was a good match. So that was easily my favorite match of the night by far. So I'm not saying that I wasn't expecting that to be my favorite match overall. I thought maybe, I honestly thought Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman might even be a really good match, the way they've been building it up. And I thought really Brock and Braun would have good chemistry in the ring, but I don't know what the deal was tonight. I don't know if they weren't allowing them to maybe go do what they wanted or whatever. Maybe they needed to add some type of stipulation to the match to make it work out better, but I don't know. It just didn't work out for them tonight at all. So before that, we had Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, the match I had no interest in. It was better than what I anticipated. It really was, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like, match of the night, like, the overall surprise of the night for me. It was just, I didn't care because, like, the build to the match was just absolutely awful, and it was boring as hell, so I didn't care to watch it, but I was kind of watching it, and it was like, this is an okay match. It's not bad. Finn Balor picks up the win. I was reading the other day that Finn Balor could possibly be now moving on to a feud with Brock Lesnar, which in your mind, on paper and everything, just doesn't really make any sense. Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, what if Braun Strowman can't beat Brock Lesnar, then what chance in hell does Finn Balor have at beating Brock Lesnar? I feel like it's really possible that they do end up keeping the title on Brock Lesnar up until WrestleMania. I really don't want to see them do what the rumors were saying they will do, is keeping the title on them and then having them drop it to Roman at WrestleMania. Does anybody really want to see that again? And I assume that would be the main event of WrestleMania. I'm so sick of seeing Roman main event WrestleMania. I mean, legit, the last 3 years we've had to watch Roman main event WrestleMania. And I'm sure it will be a pretty decent match, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I'm not, shitting on the match here or whatever if it did happen. Their match at WrestleMania 31 was decent. I'll give him that. And then obviously Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank to save that mess. But I don't know. Like I can't get in. I feel like whenever Roman goes on last, it's like he just wants something better on last at the show. I felt that way at WrestleMania 33, and it's really at WrestleMania 32 when he took on Triple H. I just felt like all the good stuff came before that match, and then we saw that match was still there, and it's just like, why? Why this match? Why can't it be something better than this to go on last? I mean, this year it was okay because it was against The Undertaker and everything, and it was like probably The Undertaker's last match. And speaking of The Undertaker, we didn't see The Undertaker tonight. I figured as soon as I saw, like I said before, that this match wasn't going on last, the Cena Reigns match, I knew right away. I was like, they're not gonna have The Undertaker show up now. If he was gonna show up, it would be it would be after it. It would be the last thing. And then John Cena. I mean, he's teased his retirement for the 750th time. He did the same thing he's done, I don't know, a countless number of times before, where he kind of just, loses the match and then sits in the ring for a while and then just kind of, makes it seem like this is it. And then many people were thinking it was it. But, I mean, it's funny. I'm not even a real big John Cena fan. I'm not even, like, I really don't care for John Cena a whole lot. But I don't know. Every time I see it, I keep thinking it is his last, like, that's it for John Cena. I'm like, but, I keep telling myself, why would they, they're not going to, it's his end for John Cena. We'll see him again, either Survivor Series, and if not Survivor Series, he'll be back in the Royal Rumble again. Typical John Cena, teases his retirement, goes away for a few months, film another movie, TV show, whatever, and then he'll be back again to win another match or put over someone else, rather, because that's what he's doing mostly. I mean, hell, he put over Roman. So I'm actually really surprised. That's really one of the things I'm surprised about, though, is that it was actually a clean finish in this match. I really thought they were going to try to make both guys look strong, but I mean, I don't know. I guess time really is winding down for John Cena now that they're actually having him just have a clean match with Roman, putting over Roman. I don't know. I mean, I hate how they're still trying to build Roman as the top guy. I would have loved if Roman would have turned heel tonight. That would have made the show a lot better than it actually was. If, when Cena went in for that handshake at the end of the match and Roman just, like, knocked him out or whatever, that would have been great. That would have been, like, just amazing. Turn Roman heel right there. I was, like, hoping. I actually had a feeling that it might happen. I'm like, will they do it here? I'm like, nah, no chance in hell. Why would they do that? Because Vince would never turn him heel. Because that's what they're trying to do, build him up as the next John Cena. What else happened on the show? Miz and Jason Jordan opened the show. Solid match. The Miz retained the title, no surprise. Jason Jordan, he was okay. I don't know. Like, Jason Jordan, I feel like, once again, no crowd reaction. Good wrestling. He wrestled a good match with the Miz, but still no character, whatever. And then he cut that really bad promo after the match. That was really bad promo. He's really got to work on his promo skills. I mean, him and Roman, they were really, when it comes to promos, not that good. But like I said, just give Jason Jordan a character. Maybe even give him a manager. Turn him heel, put him with Paul Heyman. How about that for an idea? I mean, give him a manager to talk for him. I mean, that would work. Turn him heel or something. Do something. Because if you could do that, get him a character, get him with a manager, someone where, unless he gets better with his promos, he could actually really succeed. I mean, I just feel like it's there. The potential is there with Jason Jordan. It's just WWE has no idea how to do it, how to, book them correct. But their match was okay. The Miz retained. The Miz was, like, really over in L.A. I don't know. Like, L.A. must love The Miz. He got, like, the place went nuts after he won the match. And then they booed Jason Jordan out of there when he was cutting his promo. They also announced on the pre-show that Asuka will be making her main roster debut at the TLC pay-per-view on October 22nd. This is not much of a surprise here to anyone. The question now remains who she will be debuting against. Probably going to be someone like Alicia Fox, maybe Mickie James. It's crazy to think if she debuts against Mickie James on the main roster. Go back 1 year ago, November of 1 year ago, NXT TakeOver Toronto, I think it was. Mickie James versus Asuka for the NXT title. That was a crazy good match. I remember that from last year. To think that it could just be like, an early match, a throwaway match, just, get Asuka over on the main roster 1 whole year later kind of sucks. But, yeah, she'll be debuting at TLC. And, we had Elias and Apollo Crews. I didn't even really catch much of that match, to be honest. Elias picked up the win. Not really much of a surprise there as either. I hope Elias gets into, like, a title picture. I feel like he needs to get into, like, title picture. The problem is, if you put him into the Intercontinental title picture, he's already a heel, and then you already got The Miz, who's a heel, so that's not going to work there. Unless maybe sooner or later, The Miz is going to give the title to Jason Jordan, and then we can get maybe a Jason Jordan Elias feud. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't want to see Jason Jordan win the title yet because I just feel like it's not there. But I just want. I really like. It pisses me off seeing Jason Jordan get wasted like this. To see him how good he can wrestle in the ring, but to see WWE just not know how to book him, it really pisses me off. Michael Cole was a complete mess tonight, guys. He opened the show. This is what he says here when we open the show here. He says, there is a WrestleMania feel tonight. Yeah, there's a real WrestleMania feel tonight. This was nothing compared to a WrestleMania. I don't know. That was an awful line. And then he said something later in the show. I was laughing my ass off at this comment by Cole. It was during the Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor match. I don't have the exact quote here, but he started saying, he said something about SummerSlam being in LA last year. He said Bray won the Universal title and then injured his shoulder in the match. There were three things in that sentence alone that Cole said were incorrect. SummerSlam was not in LA, it was in Brooklyn. Finn Balor won the Universal title, not Bray Wyatt. And it was Finn Balor who injured his shoulder. So Michael Cole was a mess. And then there was other times where I didn't even catch him. I saw other people pointing it out on Twitter and stuff that he was saying stuff that just made no sense. So Michael Cole was a complete mess this past night on No Mercy when it came to everything. But I don't know. The show as a whole, I'm disappointed. I really expect it. It really pisses me off though to see the things that I didn't expect to really do good, and the things I expected a lot out of do nothing. I'm just man, they could have actually did stuff with the good stuff, and then had the bad stuff that actually succeeded my expectations, do pretty good, and it would have been an overall pretty good show. But no, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of where I expected I would be, with giving the show maybe 6 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. I don't know. I'm disappointed. So I don't know. I just first pay-per-view since SummerSlam and back to the usual stuff again. It seems what it is here. I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I don't even know. Oh yeah, never mind. TLC's their next pay-per-view. I was gonna say I don't even know where their next pay-per-view is, and then yeah, it's TLC October 22nd. As for SmackDown, we got a Hell in a Cell. Probably will be better because it's Hell in a Cell. You have the Hell in a Cell matches and stuff. So SmackDown's pay-per-view will probably be better next month. But as for No Mercy, like I said, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'll be nice. I was gonna give it a 5.5, but 6 out of 10 for No Mercy. That's basically it, though, guys. Decent show. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down in the comments section below. Go follow me all over Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Links will be listed in the description for all them in the description below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow with news videos and my Monday Night Raw review right here on the Glorious Podcast.